Let's talk about this this first story real quick, and let's see what's going on. We got this story from Fox News. San Francisco DA official says, I'm sorry, I keep screwing this up. I said this was Chesa Bowden. It's not the DA.
Oh.
It's the DA official who says crime surge fears linked to racism. It's similar considering the district attorney is supposed to be the one that's prosecuting all this crime. Reports of vehicle break-ins are up by between 100% and 750% in parts of San Francisco. And we're seeing stuff like this all over. We got this story from the Daily Mail. Crime is basically legal in San Francisco. Furious shopper posts video of horde of shoplifters fleeing Neiman Marcus, totally unchecked, with armfuls of designer bags. So we'll just jump in. I mean, I've been talking about this stuff for a while. I lived in the Philadelphia area. I don't want to live there because there were riots. It's not even about the riots. There was one story where a guy barricaded himself inside a building and started shooting at cops. Like, I think he shot like 5 people. And so at a certain point, I'm just like, why am I even living in a place like this?
Yeah.
But especially over the past year with crime skyrocketing everywhere. You guys are in Miami. Yeah. I'm wondering what you guys have noticed, if anything.
Yeah, breaking into cars sounds like Wynwood.
Yeah, literally. Like, you'll go down to party with your friends, whatever, at a cool spot area. Yeah. You come out their cars. It's open.
Wynwood is, it's basically like, think of it as like our Williamsburg of like New York or Brooklyn. It's like, going through gentrification, very similar to Austin. A lot of graffiti, a lot of really artsy. So yeah, it's like right there in that art district area. So but that used to be the hood back in the day. So now what's going on is like a lot of car break-ins, a lot of people getting robbed and everything like that. And Philly is like always consistently in the top 5 or 10 most dangerous cities in the U.S., man. So it's
I guess like the recurring theme with all of this is that these cities are typically run by Democrats.
Yes.
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 I don't know how political you guys get because you talk a lot about dating.
Miami is we were the last county to open after the beer bug stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We were the last county because Florida was open for a while, but Miami-Dade was the slowest. We just opened back up maybe a month ago. So yeah, they're pretty.
That's one of the craziest things is you have that county that was like safe Democrat that flipped Republican.
Which county was that?
Was that? Yeah, it was Miami, wasn't it? Was that north of Miami?
Is it Miami-Dade?
It might have been Broward. Broward is that one area that's like
Maybe.
it's like
I think it might have been Broward.
Yeah,
probably Broward.
Yeah, because Miami-Dade is typically always blue, but I wouldn't be surprised if Broward like went red for a bit because Broward is like a lot more diverse than South Florida.
Yeah.
Well, it is South Florida, but it's much more diverse than the Miami-Dade County area.
In Miami-Dade.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
It was Miami-Dade?
Yeah, it was Miami-Dade.
There you go.
Ooh. Okay.
I was right.
I don't know which 27th? 27th district and 27th, 26th. That was crazy because they were saying that it was safe Democrat. It wasn't going to change. But there's like, I guess the main theme of the story that we're going on is when you look at, I think San Diego is run by Republicans. They're not in the top 10 for crime, even though in the top 10 biggest cities. So like, I don't know what your guys' opinion on this.
San Diego is great,
man.
I like San Diego. I'm not a fan of California, but San Diego I do like.
So nice.
Just in general for like the crime we're seeing.
Honestly,
what's it like in Miami?
For crime, it's kind of like, how to put this? It's more in the party scene. I would say this, like, let's say you're going out with friends, right? You meet a girl. Guys are getting like finesse from girls. Like, for example, you bring to your house, you have a great time. By the time you wake up, your stuff is gone. That stuff happens in Miami all the time, right? We're in Miami. Think about it. We're, party capital. And then just being a regular civilian, you're walking around, whatever. Certain areas are obviously still not safe, but I would say more it's like car break-ins, guys getting finesse from girls. And then also, even behind the scenes, there's like, theft with scammers, people putting...
But does it feel like it's going up?
I'll say this. Miami Beach has definitely changed significantly over the past, 10, 15 years. Ever since... for me, what I noticed the trigger point was right around 2008 when Florida started getting on the map with DJ Khaled and Lil Wayne and all these rappers like really like representing the South Florida area. And then it brought more tourism, more traffic to Miami because a lot of people think Miami Beach, like, oh, Ocean Drive, they think that's Miami. No, that's Miami Beach.
Yeah.
But Miami Beach now, it could be ratchet at times. Like Memorial Day weekend, you don't want to be there. So, but yeah, there's a lot of crime in Miami Beach because, it draws a certain crowd there on certain types of events. And then, a lot of fights, shootings, robberies, in Miami Beach quite a bit.
I would say the main areas are
tourists.
Like Broward and Miami Beach because we're in Brickell downtown, so we're kind of like in a safe area, so to speak, but it's not like crazy, like,
And then downtown Miami has like all the homeless people.
Yeah.
Like all the homeless people in Miami are like concentrated
worse?
downtown. Yeah, dude.
Okay, get this, right? So I came here 5 years ago to Miami, right, from Barbados. And downtown Brickell is kind of like, okay, open area, not too much people over there, not too many homeless. Now it's like overrun, but, the pandemic, all this stuff happens, so people are out of jobs. That's where they go.
Brickell is like the Manhattan of Miami. If I was to give people like an example of what it is, it's like the financial district. It's clean. It's nice. Like, you know, they've been really working on making it nice because it used to be when people came to Miami, they would go to Miami Beach immediately. They would never go into the city.
Right.
Like you would never go into the city unless you worked. But now, you know, the city's becoming more tourist friendly. They're trying to compete with Miami Beach. That's why Wynwood is coming up. The design district. Brickell has its own scene and everything else like that. But so it's like, it's fixing, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely like a lot of scammers in Miami. A lot of girls rob dudes. People don't know. It's just that the guys don't report it to the cops.
They don't report it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I lived in Miami for a little bit. I was by Homestead, actually, where they have that famous child detention migrant facility or whatever. And we had one crazy thing happen. The neighbors warned us that there were some home invasions and people were shot and killed. And so I think this is why this is what explains a lot of like, you know, Florida gets a Republican governor. Ron DeSantis, everybody loves the guy, you know, and they're saying he might run for president or maybe he'll be vice president, who knows. But when I was there, this is a story I often tell people. I was at a Trump rally talking to people about this because, you know, this is back in the day, or it was like 6 years ago. There were some home invasions. A guy was in his shower and he heard noise downstairs, like rustling. So he walks downstairs in his towel and then two guys see him and then just one guy just shoots him in the chest, kills him. And this is like 40 miles west of Miami, so it's like not that far away.
Okay.
And you know, so I was talking to people in the neighborhood about, they're like, you got to be really careful. You know, I hope you have guns. And we were like, we didn't have any guns. Like, we're in the middle of nowhere, but we weren't armed or anything like that. We had like an air pressure rifle. And so then talking to these people, a lot of them were Latino immigrants. A lot of them were Cuban.
Yeah.
And they said, oh yeah, those, like we were talking to our neighbors about it, and they were like, oh yeah, those guys, oh yeah, they killed it. I think they caught them. They were illegal immigrants who like were ransacking houses west of Miami where it's like there's no cops, it's pitch black, it's like farmhouses.
Probably unincorporated Dade.
So
that might be
Homestead is no man's land.
And there's nothing out there,
It's very
bro.
cheap over there too. So I get it.
Yeah.
There's an Air Force base, but that's about it.
Yeah.
You know,
But that to me was when the people, I see the Trump flags everywhere, and I was talking at rallies, talking to people at rallies, I was like, oh, now I get it. Like these are the stories that they're hearing all the time. That's why they're very concerned about illegal immigration. That's why they're very concerned about having rights to guns and things like that. But anyway, I digress. I wanted to ask you guys, like, how do you manage to do a podcast underwater? You know, I heard Miami sank.
We're sinking. Yeah, we're sinking every day, bro.
We had a building that just collapsed.
That's true.
Surfside, South Beach,
in Miami Beach.
Terrible, man.
Why
Miami
was
Beach.
that? They ever figure out why?
So apparently the building had a very bad structure. It had some issues going on, but they never fixed it. So they were told ahead of time, "Hey guys, this building is under some issues. You need to fix it as soon as possible." But then they never did it. And then what happened was, I think we had like a lot of rain, a lot of like what was it? Was it like a fissure or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Miami is like a lot of the buildings were built, you know, on the back of the cocaine era, you know. So it's like they're not necessarily like Miami was built on the back of like narco trafficking. So let's be honest about it. So like, you know, they like, and it's because I'm a real estate investor in Miami too.
Yeah,
it's not uncommon for them to be breaking all kinds of codes and violations when you're like looking at real estate property in Miami. So I would not be surprised if that building was didn't pass certain regulations and it might have like, you know, collapse on itself.
Yeah.
So
somebody just greased some palms.
Yeah,
exactly. You put some money over there. They hush.
Yeah, you know, like, hey, I gotta dump this money in somewhere, bro. Like somewhere. So real estate.
But yo, imagine you're in your home. All of a sudden,
oh yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
And there's so many buildings in Miami like that. So who knows? Miami might be underwater. Who really knows?
What if your podcasts? You know, what if like they're building your end? Just like,
dude, yeah, it might happen. Who knows? Because I'll tell you this:
we're high up.
When it rains, yeah, we're high up. We're high up. when Brickell, when it rains really bad in Brickell, like it does go underwater. Like there's flood. There's like puddles everywhere.
Yeah,
cars
videos,
like are driving through.
Where like it's like imagine you're at a lake, and it's the city. It's that crazy.
What?
So it's bad.
Is it really sinking though, or is it like? Because when I was there, I remember I went down to Miami Beach one day and there was like a couple inches of water just in the street. And they said, oh, it's because Miami's sinking. Oh. But other people told me it's been like this forever. It's like it's sea level. So it rains and then like there's nowhere to drain the water. So it just like is in the streets. So I'm wondering how much of it's political. Because here's the thing. They're saying that, you know, the water levels are going to rise, climate change and all that. But you still got all these investors buying up property all across Miami Beach.
Yeah.
See, that's my question.
Dude.
Why are these millionaires dumping money into a property that may go underwater? So I'm thinking they must be doing something behind the scenes to stop the, you know.
Not only that, like
happening.
me and Fresh are both involved in real estate too. And the market in Miami right now is hot, man. Like these if you guys are trying to buy in Miami, man, this is going to be expensive because these New York investors, they're moving down in droves,
the Canadians,
man.
The Russians,
people from Massachusetts, New York, Connecticut, the Northeast in general are moving down there in droves because they're looking at like, okay, what did the beer bug teach us? Okay, well now you can work from home. You don't necessarily need to be tied to a certain location to be able to do work and commute in. So why are you going to pay $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 to live in a closet in New York City when you can go down to Florida, warm all year, no state income tax, and for a lot of people that don't know this, Florida is actually fairly cheap to live, and Miami is actually a cheap city to live in. You can get a 1-bedroom apartment in Brickell, which is in Manhattan, Miami, for $2,000 a month or less. You would never find that in Manhattan.
Nope,
bro. My friend had a place in Brickell, overlooking like the bay, and they had two pools for residents, a saltwater pool and a freshwater pool. Not that expensive. It's like super nice place.
People think Miami's expensive, but here's the thing. It's expensive if you party in Miami. Since so many people come to party in Miami Beach, it's expensive. But if you actually live in the city of Miami, not that bad.
And if you want to avoid sea level, you can go to Wynwood, and that's above sea level.
It is.
So a lot of investors, that's where they go to invest and buy property.
That's going to blow up soon.
Yeah.
But sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, man, I think a lot of people are moving down there because of freedom.
Facts.
Yeah, I mean, you had Texas and Florida saying you don't got to wear masks, you can do whatever you want. Like, life is normal here.
Yeah.
That's why people, I think a lot of people move to Florida. So our friend Luke, for instance, he was on the show, Luke Rukowski, for a couple months, and then he's like, I'm leaving, I'm going to Florida. And he was like, you should come with. And I'm like, bro, we can't just go to Florida. And he went to Florida. I don't know what he's doing now.
It's a great state, man.
You should come, man.
I lived in Florida. The problem is you can't go outside.
What, the humidity?
Humidity. It's like it's 100 degrees with the maximum humidity, and it's monsooning half the time. I lived when I lived out there.
I'll be honest, bro.
I mean,
we stay inside most of the time.
Yeah, I mean,
so you good, bro? You good?
I mean, I'll take warm weather because I grew up in Connecticut. So I grew up in the Northeast. I went to college in Boston. I'm very familiar with New England and Northeast in general. I lived in New York City. I've lived in Philly, and it's just like, man, I'll take that hot weather over cold weather any day, man. Like, but that's just me. Some people like the season changing, but like for me, it's like it's cheaper, it's warmer, the girls are hotter.
Listen.
I will say this though. Here's my prediction: Nevada, Florida, and Texas are going to see huge migration of new and
why
new people.
Is that?
Because they all don't have state income tax, and they're all a lot of people are escaping major cities that are expensive. Las Vegas for LA. A lot of people from New York are coming down to Florida. And then Texas, everyone's just going to Texas because Texas is a fantastic place to be. If I wasn't in Florida, I'd be in Texas. Houston, you could buy a beautiful home for $300,000.
Yes.
Texas is a very self-sufficient state. Gas is cheap. Food is cheap. They make a lot of their own stuff. Very self-sufficient state. Hell, if they wanted to leave the United States, they could. Don't they have that on paper somewhere too?
I think they do. Yeah.
So the only thing that sucks is like, Houston traffic is awful and you need a car. But Texas is a great place to be. So I think those 3 states in the next 5 to 10 years, you guys are going to see an explosion because now people are seeing I don't have to be domain dependent on where I am to like work. I can work remotely. So if you're going to work remotely, why not pay less taxes and be in a warmer, better area?
There are some rumors. I haven't looked into this. That West Virginia is also trying to get rid of their West Virginia is trying to get rid of their income tax, at least at a certain level. I don't know if they're actually going to do it or not. I haven't looked into it, but a lot of people in West Virginia are talking about it. So I like it out here, man. It's close enough to the East Coast, a couple hours to Philly, a couple hours to, not a couple hours, but you can head down to Miami, not too difficult. DC's right there.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to have guns. You got big open spaces. And I like snowboarding, periodically, maybe once or twice. I don't want to go crazy with it, but winter's nice.
Yeah. New Hampshire, I would say New Hampshire is also good as well for people that want to stay in New England and still be able to get that experience because there's no state income tax in New Hampshire either. And you're just a hop skipping away from Massachusetts, if you want to go to Boston or Springfield or anything like that.
Regarding like coastal cities going underwater, I think what happens when that does happen is it happens in jolts because if the ice caps melt, there will be like a rise in water. But what happens is when the ice is removed from the earth rises where that ice used to be, and Earth elsewhere on the planet goes down. So like it will literally sink. So not only does the water level rise, but the Earth sinks.
Wait. You're saying the water level?
When ice caps melt and just disappear all in a day, if there's like a firestorm and all the ice caps are gone, all that land rises where the ice used to be compressing it, goes up. And so Earth on other parts of the planet go down when that land goes up. So when the ice caps are removed, part of Earth will sink.
Oh, hold on, bro.
And that's in addition to the water rushing. Well, a lot of times climate change happens in jolts. It doesn't happen slow.
The northern ice caps aren't on land. You've got Greenland, which is on land. Antarctica is on land.
Antarctica, basically.
But Antarctica is Depending on your source. Yeah. Antarctica is gaining ice in some areas, maybe losing ice in some areas.
But if it were to lose its ice, that's you would see land sink as well as water go up. So
are like the tectonic plates floating on water, you're saying?
It depends on what theory you look at. If you look at the expanding Earth theory, there are no tectonic plates.
I don't think expanding Earth theory is real.
I think we should go deep on expanding Earth theory one day.
I don't know, man. We're talking about investing in real estate and everything.
Yeah.
Well, land sinking, I don't think it's going to sink. I think buying it as a short-term considered high-risk investment when it's not.
I just think it's weird that I watched this video where a guy made a really good point. He's like, all these people are coming out claiming that climate change is going to wipe everything out. The water level is going to rise 20 feet, and all these rich people are buying up beachfront property in Miami. Like what? Look, either they're expecting it not to happen or they're lying.
See, that's the question here. Why are they buying these $1 million homes right on the water? Something's up here. They know something that we don't know. They have to.
Yeah,
maybe they're Atlantean. They can breathe underwater.
Yeah, that's probably
Naturally.
it.
Yeah,
But I'm seeing now in Miami, they're putting like these pillars in the water. I don't know what they do, but they're supposed to like stabilize the. I don't know what it is, but they're putting pillars in the water. I don't know
like
why.
Wave breaks. Are they breaking the waves?
I don't know what it does, bro. They're there.
What I think honestly is that
Yeah.
these New York investors have so much money that like even if the place was to flood or whatever it is, they can fix the damages. Like they're buying it at such a low cost that even buying it at that cost and fixing the damage is going to be cheaper than buying a piece of property in New York. Like I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, right? Like in the right off Church Avenue, right? As a kid, like from 0 to 9 years old, then I moved. That property, I went and like looked at it. It's worth like $2 million now, wow. And it's like just like a little crappy apartment like building, and it's like worth $2 million now. So it's like New York real estate. You can't even get in the game unless you have millions. So it's like, oh, I can go to Florida and buy like a triplex or a quadplex or whatever, or maybe even an apartment building for under $1 million.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do that.
But as an investor,
hold on. Some of these firms are probably just getting fed money for free. It's just they just get loans from the banks. They don't care about. What's the worst case scenario if you buy this property and in 30 years it's underwater? Whatever, bankruptcy, you walk away. Why do they care?
Is it Blackstone that's doing that?
Yeah.
BlackRock and Blackstone, right?
Yeah.
Blackstone, I think, bought up a company that does this, that buys properties and rents them out, and then I think BlackRock was the one that was buying up all the properties themselves. I don't know. I got. There's like two different companies. I know, right?
It's annoying.
I'm just saying, if I'm an investor, a smart investor, I don't want to put money into something that might lose money. So I'm just thinking from my point of view. Hey, I'm an investor where there's not sea level problems. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm just what I've come to realize is like these New York investors, they're not even getting good cash on cash returns like that. They're barely breaking 10%, and they're still doing the deal. So that tells me that they just have a bunch of money they need to get rid of or something.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.